Alright, hello everybody. So, this video has been ultra delayed. There's 2 weeks packed in here, and I'm actually glad that I took a while because a lot has happened and I kind of needed some time to reflect on it. But just quickly getting up to speed here, so I left Ucluelet. It was pouring rain, I got soaked to the tits when I was loading my trailer up and everything. Stayed overnight in Port Alberni again. Man, so many people are on the road, and now initially I thought, yo, this is rad. There's so many people living an RV life, adventuring, but in hindsight and from a couple people that I've met on the trip, it seems to be that it's not by choice. You know, it's just getting that much more expensive and harder to live, that for some people it's the only option that they've found, you know. So here I'm pulling into Tunnel Hill Campground, which is about 25 minutes out of Victoria, and it's maybe I think it was $240 to stay there for the week. Monthly rates are a little cheaper. As you can imagine, that's a lot cheaper than rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Victoria or Vancouver. But anyway, I went to Redfish Bluefish. Amazing time to go because the city's really not that busy. Like, I guess it was lucky that there's only 3 people in line ahead of me. Some of the best fish and chips, and you get to eat it outside, enjoy the marina. They got a little kind of outdoor patio there with a roof. Victoria, you know, capital of BC, it really is just a beautiful city. It's I'd say out of all the big cities, well, there and Nanaimo, I think I like Victoria better. It seems to have a lot of history. You got the Parliament building. There's a lot of artwork everywhere. I love how much art is floating around in BC, and especially on the island. I went to check out the Royal BC Museum. So if you're into museums, definitely check this one out. By the way, I tried to climb that staircase. It's closed. I know. I'm just as disappointed as you are. Trust me. But the museum had an awesome orca exhibition. Just going through the history, the cultural significance to the indigenous people, a lot about the biology and what we know, and even some clues as to all the things that we don't know. Incredibly intelligent animals. It was cool seeing the evolution of pop culture and movies, the way they're portrayed. Look at these movie posters, making it look like Free Willy's a demon. And it kind of hurt seeing VHS boxes in a museum because, you know, that means I'm starting to get a little old, you know, because VHS was my thing when I was a kid, and I loved watching movies over and over again. I would watch a movie, rewind it, I would sit there as it rewinded, and then I would press play and watch it all over again. Was I bored? I don't know. But anyway, they had a good section about kind of what the future might look like for these whales, and what it looks like for us in our relationship with them. Needless to say, our impact is, you know, persistent. You know, I'm sure there's better words for it, but you know, humans take a toll in terms of pollution and how we take up space and habitats. But the museum was awesome. You can just see they did a perfect kind of rendition of what the rainforest on the island looks like. So if you're wheelchair bound or accessibility is hard for you, you can't hike, highly recommend you stop in here. Lots of cool things to see. I could have spent easily another couple hours in there, but I'm kind of a museum nerd. Another awesome view of the Parliament building. Just beautiful. Look at that patina. You know, you can't just make something like that and have it look like that right away. You know, things have to have time to take their toll on them, and I think that's why Europe is so amazing. Everything's so old, and it just carries the weight of time with them. I think one of the magical things about Vancouver and outdoor artworks is that it's sitting in such a beautiful setting, and I think the moss, the trees, it all just adds to it. You kind of can't help but feel like a spiritual power kind of pushing through everything. It speaks to the soul. A great part of this museum was just how much history, artifacts, and knowledge there was on the history through this area. I can't shut up about it, but the coastal indigenous communities, their culture, and everything about their spirituality and the beautiful ways in which they express that and their history, to me it was really impactful. And I don't know if it was just coming here on this trip or if it had to do with some other recent things that I'd learned, but more than ever I feel like I was just ready to learn and to have an appreciation for the indigenous cultures in Canada. And I'm super ignorant, still ignorant to a lot, but I feel like my heart is open and my mind is open to kind of receive some of the knowledge and the wisdom, and like I said, to just have an appreciation for what these communities have gone through. And I very much am excited for the future and to see how I'm able to connect with the people in these communities and cultures. Lots of rain. I was able to take advantage of it, I guess, and hunker down in my trailer and complete some artwork. There's 2 commissions that I'm not able to show in this video, but I will show them in the future. If you follow my Instagram, you'll see them there. There was a couple clear nights. Not very many, but a couple, and I was able to take some awesome star photos. A couple people told me that I need to visit the Souk, which is an area, a town and a provincial park just west of Langford, west of Victoria. It's only about a half hour away, not even. And it's amazing how so much is accessible. It's so easy to dip into nature and to feel like you're feeling just a connection to the ancient powers or something. I don't know how to explain it better, but there's something so ancient about these places. Just looking at the trees, the moss, similar to old buildings, there's a magic about these rocks. Like, even older than all the man-made structures are these locations. So this is at Crake Point in the Souk Provincial Park. It didn't take very long for me to walk here. Look at this view. There's such a magic about just seeing where the waves have beaten on the rocks and how life has kind of just prevailed in obscure locations. You can see how today the ocean's kind of quiet. Of course, the island has no shortage of wildlife. Seeing this for a sold sign, it just has me thinking of how wonderful it is that people do get to make this kind of a life where they wake up to this, they go to sleep to this, and I'll be honest, it has me dreaming big time. I feel like now that I've spent this much time on the island for the first time, all I want is more. And unfortunately I had to cut my trip short, so I'll get to that in a minute. But right now here I'm just showing my walk through Bouchard Gardens, which is award-winning. It's the most beautiful garden in Canada, and it truly is stunning. As someone that has done some landscaping to my own house and has tried to make a bit of a garden, if any of you have have that kind of experience just trying to watch things grow or put together a garden bed, you're gonna love this place. It used to be a big limestone quarry, and a lot of mining went on there. And then the family, Miss Burchard, she decided she wanted to turn it into a garden. And over 100 years, it's crazy just how much work has gone into making it what it is today. And even on this day, there was a lot of workers on site cleaning things up, changing things out. It blows my mind. So much about the island just blows my mind. Can't shut up about it. So, going back to what I was saying, I had to cut my trip a little short. Now, before I even went on the trip, I decided that if I couldn't go down and continue my travels through the States and then back up into Canada, I was just going to stay on the island over the winter. But after being on the island for a few weeks and seeing just how much it rains and the toll it takes on RVs and it's amazing just how moisture seems to find its way into places. And with me just having my first RV here for a few months, I just don't know that it's up to the task. And to be honest, I just felt a lot more comfortable going home because I just couldn't get into the States this time. I came overconfident. I've been into the States many times before, but never for a long-term trip. And when you show up with a trailer and everything you need to survive for an indefinite length of time like I did, it's good to have a solid plan, and I did not have a solid plan. I didn't have any dates. I didn't have a set itinerary. I was winging it, and that was part of the fun. But for a border security agent, it seems a little sketch. It's sketch when a guy shows up and says, "I'm just here to go on an adventure." So anyway, I'm going to leave that at that. What I really want to talk about is when I went to a gallery in Victoria called Mark Loria Gallery. Everyone needs to go there just to appreciate the true Indigenous art. So some of this stuff is recent. I guess it's like Indigenous contemporary art. So some of it is recent and some of it is a few decades old and even older. It's a beautiful collection. And I couldn't help but get into a discussion with the gentleman there about where the boundaries are in terms of using coastal Indigenous art forms in tattooing. After all, I do some tattoos and I know other tattoo artists. And it's quite simple. So this is one of the masks at that gallery. It's 50 years old. This was made with sandblasting and paint. Contemporary. It's new techniques with the old. Awesome stuff. I wish I could afford it. One day I'm gonna have something to showcase. But anyway, he laid it out very clearly. It comes down to communication. Had to pay a huge bill to fix my truck, my brakes. My brakes had to get done, and my e-brake, I guess, had fallen apart, like disintegrated. So anyway, traveling sometimes sucks, big costs. But okay, going back to what I was saying about using Indigenous art for tattoos, it comes down to communication. Show the respect of reaching out and ask some of these artists to create a design for you. Because even it's not even copying something exact. Obviously that's plagiarism, but even ripping off the styling, even that is frowned upon because it's such a small community. There's only so many of these artists, and the thing with this style of art form is that it's so rooted in their history and their spirituality. Like all the little nuances of it tells a story about who they are as a people. And so to take that styling, it cuts a little deep, It's not like ripping off a landscape painting or a portrait of a model or a celebrity. It's very deep, powerful stuff, and it's just so respectful to open up that communication. By the way, most hikers die taking selfies at waterfalls, I learned. Good tip to know. Anyway, to wrap up my story about the gallery there, is that it doesn't matter what race you are, you can get coastal Indigenous art on you. And it doesn't matter what race you are, you can do the tattoo. But what matters is that as artists, we show those artists the respect that they deserve in allowing us to enjoy something that's just such a big part of their identity and allowing them to be a part of that. So this drive was on my way to Port Renfrew there, and I just can't get over how people live. Surely delicious. Everybody needs to go here. It's a cafe. They have the best sandwiches. It'll be one of the top 5 sandwiches you eat, I guarantee you. The one day that I went out there, the waves were looking huge and lots of surfers out. It's very cool. Not this trip, but I think another trip I'm definitely going to have to try and learn. I'm going to have to become a kook. I'm sorry, locals, but I'm going to have to kook it up. So this is my hike down to Botanical Beach Provincial Park, just south of Port Renfrew. And I think I've figured out these hikes to a science in why they're so awesome. So you get to do some walking, you get your heart rate up, so you get some endorphins, you get to the beach, beautiful, you get a nice dopamine kick, and then if you're with a friend, hiking buddy, you get to enjoy some oxytocin, a bit of connection, and then all said and done, pat yourself on the back, feel proud of yourself for going out there, you get to see it, so you get a nice kick of serotonin. Ah yes, good cocktail of hormones to get you through the day. At the time of recording this audio, I've since gone back home to Calgary, and the few days after I couldn't get across into the States and continue my journey, I was so bummed. For 3 days, I was stuck in my head, just pissed off, frustrated, because I wanted this thing to keep on going. I wanted the adventure to continue, and in some ways I was feeling like I was letting myself down. In some ways I was feeling like I was letting other people down, and I felt like a failure is what it felt like. I felt like I failed a massive exam, or I failed a year in university. It was brutal, but now that it's been a few days and things have calmed down, I am so happy with what I was able to pick up from this trip, and I'm so glad I was able to take you guys with me. For people that have been following and that have reached out, I'm so glad you've enjoyed my travels and what I've tried to share with you guys. It's been my pleasure to really, put this together for everyone, and especially for my parents. I love my parents so much. They're sitting at home. They, make a tea. They put it on the big TV in the living room, and it's like a big event for them. Oh, my biggest fans, my biggest supporters. But anyway, after some reflection, I've realized that this trip has been a huge success for me. I've gained so much perspective. I feel inspired. I have so much material to work with right now. Things that I want to create, paintings that I want to do, drawings that I want to do. And I'm that much more motivated to head back out again. And I know that being home now and spending time with family and friends and getting some work done, getting back to some tattoos and clients, that when that's all settled, I'm going to have a lot of things organized. I'm going to be ready to hit the road again with my trailer, and it's going to be a thing. I'm going to keep it going for as long as it's exciting. We're going to do this, and then who knows what the future is going to have in store. But so long as I can do it, I can guarantee you there's going to be more adventures. I'm so thankful for everyone that's kind of just joined in and been a part of it. Everyone that's messaged me while on the trip, gotten a hold of me, or even people that I just know are, checking in and viewing my stuff. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you get to enjoy something like this, or just enjoy something, whatever is up your alley. Go out there and do it, or stay in and do it. Take it all in, observe, look around, be in the present. That was a big lesson on this trip. Like, it's stuff that I've known for a long time, but more than ever, I just feel like I've really been able to do that for myself. And I think a big part of that is me going on this trip by myself and with no urgency. So all in all, very happy. And I'd like to do more solo trips, but I'd also love to do this with someone else. Who knows what the future will bring? This hike here is down to Mystic Beach. So this is my last hike of this trip, and it's very bittersweet. A funny thing about this hike is that it was just after the time change. So I lost an hour in the day, and I thought I still had till 6 p.m. before sunset. So I'm an hour behind, and it gets dark fast. Anyway, I'm down here and it's sunset. So it's gonna start getting dark fast. But anyway, it created an awesome setting where I was able to get a unique experience, some very cool photos. I love this beach and just how there's mini waterfalls falling off from the cliffs into the ocean. The skies just had me mesmerized. Like I said before, there just seems to be something so ancient about these places, and obviously they are ancient, but it's just you feel it. You hear it, you see it, you touch it, but you also feel it just deep within you. And I don't know, I think with it comes a big humility and obviously perspective, and just understanding that when we die, our bodies go back to the earth. All of this stuff just keeps on going, and it is so powerful. I am so excited to go back to the island one day. After having explored such a good chunk of it, I feel like now I'll get to go back and relive some memories, but at the same time make some new ones, because there's certainly things that I didn't get to see. And just like this time, I would love to go again for a month and a half, a couple months. But anyway, back at Tunnel Hill Campground, I loaded up my trailer and had gotten ready to hit the road to go back to the mainland. So I went back to Nanaimo, took the ferry over to Horseshoe Bay. So this is at the ferry terminal. I didn't reserve a ticket. This time of year you really don't need to. Just show up, wait a little bit, hop on a ferry. For anyone wondering how much it costs, for my rig it was $220. So with my truck and trailer it's about 41 feet. It's the name of the game, you gotta pay to play. Here I'm walking through just a part of downtown Vancouver. Went down to the waterfront. Downtown Vancouver is always a great place to go for a walk. Tons to see, beautiful urban environment. There's also some urban blight, but comes with the territory. This is a sculpture at Dude Chill Park, and as you can see, the dude is chilling. I got to see a lot of things at the Vancouver Art Gallery. Just outside, at the front, they had a nice memorial for the kids that were found through the residential schools. Everyone knows that reconciliation is one of the big topics nowadays, as it should be. Inside, they had Yoko Ono exhibition, which showcased a lot of her artwork from all the decades, and it was cool. Thinking back on it, there was a lot of presentations and displays that just really brought me back to humanity and feeling that connection between all of us. And I don't know, just a lot of compassion there. And obviously with John Lennon, they were huge advocates for peace and anti-war. And now, getting close to the end of my video, this is my journey home, which was absolute crap. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I'd rather just say thank you to all of you that have tuned in, that have enjoyed what I've had to share. I hope to do this again soon. Thank you.